I've been making content like online art courses, webinars, live drawings, and of course, YouTube videos for nearly a decade now. So I figured I should probably start sharing some of what's going on behind the scenes as well. Hey y'all, my name is Brad and I run a design and illustration studio called Brave the Woods. If you spend any time on my channel at all, you'll know that I love sharing what I make. I like sharing my process and also letting you just have an overall glimpse into my creative journey. So in that spirit, I'm gonna be giving you a quick little tour of my setup for shooting art videos. So this is what it looks like on the other side of the camera. Now I have a lot going on, there's lots of gear here, so I'll walk you through and explain why I have it set up the way I do and what I have going on here. And you can find everything, all the different products that I have out here that I'm gonna talk about down in the description below. So no worries, there's links to everything. But also I feel like I need to preface this video with a little disclaimer that I'm not a professional videographer, photographer, gaffer, any of that. This is my setup and it's worked really well for what I'm doing, and it's kind of grown over the years. So I'll kind of walk you through that. You can see I have some lighting, I have some articulating arms and things for my mics and for my cameras, but I'll walk you all through that. And just know that your space is very different than my space. So obviously the point of this video is to help you get ideas for your own studio and maybe find some products that'll work really, really well for you. My camera of choice is the Sony a6400 mirrorless camera, and I cannot recommend this camera enough. Being that it is a mirrorless camera, it is smaller, lighter weight than a DSLR camera, which I was using before, and is perfectly fine if that's what you're starting with. If you happen to have one, they're a lot cheaper. This was an old Canon Rebel T3i. And I loved shooting with it. It does not shoot in 4K and it doesn't have autofocus. So DSLRs typically aren't more video focused. They can, there's some really great ones. I know Nikon makes a few good ones. But typically, if you're looking for something for video and a camera, and that's what your main task is, you're looking for a mirrorless camera. And so this fit in right in my budget, right under $1,000. And like I said, I upgraded to this. It took me a little while. So if you're just starting, your phone works fine. In fact, that's what I'm shooting this on right now, my iPhone 10 Max. And it works just fine. But this guy right here is such a great buy. It's 4K, it's small, lightweight. It has an amazing autofocus. Out of all the ones I've tried, this one has the best autofocus. It's the quickest to snap on to whatever you're showing in front of the camera. And a lot of them I felt like they were kind of slow, and this one was really fast, and it can follow and track your face, which I found very, very helpful. But this is the camera that I use. If there's one thing I collect a lot of, it's things to hold my cameras. I found out as I was pulling out all my gear for this video that I have so many tripods and flexible arms and things, so let me walk you through them. And it's really nice that I have a bunch so I don't have to move things. Like, I like to keep this tripod in the back for my talking head videos, but it just stays there. I don't really move that one. If I want to do a shot like on my table or somewhere else, I have this other little, cheap tripod that I use. I also have this one that is not super expensive, but I really, really like it because it's my portable option, and it's so nice to have like the flexible legs and everything, so it can actually hold on to different things. This one's obviously set up for my iPhone, and that's when I'm traveling. I like to use my iPhone for video, but you can also put your my Sony a6400 on it. It'll fit with the right attachments on here, especially on things like this. I have this boom arm that's typically for lighting because of how heavy it is, but I figured I could just put my camera right here on the edge and I can screw it on there, and it works just fine for my top-down view. The thing is really beefy, really beefy. You can see the big ol' base down there. You can adjust it so it can go super high, or you can drop that all the way down. This even pulls out over here, and you can adjust it, the different angles and things like that. So that's been one of my favorite purchases because I can also use things like this Manfrotto articulating arm, which will hold on to anything if you use this little super clamp right here. And it doesn't come with any attachments. I mean, this is kind of the basic one, so you can put your camera on there, obviously. But a lot of the times I'll just have this little guy on there, and he can just fit right up on there, and I can twist it, and I can use my phone for top-down shooting as well. The other one I have, the last one I wanted to show you, was this little guy. Is just kind of this little flexible, what do they call it, gooseneck arm. It just clamps onto the side of your desk. Really easy. It goes up pretty high too. If you have a really thick desk, it works, which mine I feel like is a little bit thick. And then you have the different little heads. I noticed though that these little heads can be swapped out. I have a few other ones actually. So this is the one that it originally came with, but I just like the way that this one held my phone. And this one holds your phone as well, but it's just harder to shoot video with. So that was what I was running with. And this one is a little bit wussier. This one's really cheap. This one will probably run you about $8, under $10. And this one, on the other hand, was just under $20, but it is oh so strong. And it can hold up to the size of a tablet. I think it goes up to 11 inches. It can hold something really, really heavy. And it's nice because like you can have it go at whatever angle you want, and it swivels right here. So I find that being really helpful. Right after lighting, I would say the second most important thing to worry about is your audio. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's why I'm saying it's second. People kind of give you a little bit more slack on the audio, but you don't have to break the bank to get a really good microphone. And this thing is professional quality. You could do podcasts with this thing. It's called the Blue Yeti. I've had it for years. They still make them look just the same. And they're right around $100. And I absolutely love it. It's so easy. The USB plug into your computer is all you need, and it is up and ready to go. Not to mention, you can have it be in different modes. So if you have people that you want to interview, you can switch this over so that it's picking up on both sides of the mic, and you can have it kind of just pick up in different directions, which is so nice. But that's been like the best purchase that I've had here with all my gear. But I will say there's a few other little things that I've added to it, and you can see that clearly. There's this little thing over here, a little pop filter. There's a couple ways to do it. This is what it looks like underneath normally. But I put this one on here because it didn't get in my way. This is also a pop filter, more traditional, which you probably see people, in other YouTube videos will use. And I've used this for a lot of years. It basically takes away the pop noise when you're saying like your P's or your T's. That noise pops and kind of peaks on your audio. And so that's what this is for. You put it near your mouth and cover so that it doesn't directly, just shoot right into the mic. You can have it just kind of be as a buffer between them. And that's really nice. These are really cheap. I mean, this was like $6. I think this was like $3. So that's not an expensive upgrade. Then I have this Rode arm, which I opted to get a more expensive one. It's not crazy expensive, but Rode is kind of like your they're a big name brand in audio, and so everything to do with audio. And so I tend to have a few different items from them just because I've been upgrading to them. And I like this arm because it is so strong and it just holds that mic at whatever angle I want. And the cool thing too about it is that I can flip it, and this microphone obviously can pick up on either side, which is nice. So if I want to put it above my head while I'm talking, just above, kind of out of the way, or if I want to put it right in front of me like I'm doing like a podcast or something. But yeah, it's super strong. It has a nice little organizer for your cords. You can see that it goes up and around on the frame. And then there's two options. This just lifts out. This is a little clamp that you can do. You can also drill a hole into your desk and put it straight into there. Now the reason why I have this thing, so this is a shock mount. And this reduces vibrations and things that are going to be, impacting the mic and your output. So your audio is going to sound kind of shaky, or it's going to have some white noise or some humming. If you were to lay this, it does come with like a little stand that I kept originally on my desk, and then I kept hearing this noise, and that was a lot of white noise coming from the humming of my computer. So if you're going to be attaching, so you're going to lay this on your desk, or if you're going to be attaching this arm to your desk, you're going to want a shock mount. Otherwise, you could probably get away with it a little bit more, like if it was on a shelf or something. But I don't have it that luxury, so I just put the shock mount on here, and it helps it not have that. Took out that humming noise right away. But that is like the best thing that I got is the Blue Yeti microphone. I've moved around quite a bit, and every single time I had to set up a new space trying to get everything right again. And the biggest hurdle every single time was the lighting. The lighting was really tricky, but these two guys have saved my life. So I'm gonna show you what those are. But really the one thing that can save you is just having nice natural light. So if you have windows, take advantage of them, because this doesn't look good if you don't have the right lighting, but this looks a whole lot better and it's free. So this is how I have my lighting set up. It's not fancy. In fact, these are all different lights, and that one over there, that's a desk lamp. It's not even supposed to be back there really, but I'm using it because I want some warm light behind me, and it works for now. I'm gonna upgrade, I'm sure, soon. I don't have any fancy LED lighting with bright colors, but this works for me for now. It looks really natural. The main idea is that I have two light sources, and it's really important that the light's diffused so you don't have these harsh shadows on the other side of your face, and it's nice to have them on both sides so you don't have those shadows. So this is called a softbox, and I love it because you can also change the light intensity because you have lots of different bulbs inside there. You can even change the filters on here, and then you can adjust the brightness by turning on a certain amount of lights. This is the one I would highly recommend. I wish I had two of them, and this was the first one I ever had. Same idea, you have a light source right back here, but you can't change the, if it's warm or cold or how bright it is, which ultimately that would be the best scenario. But it does work, and it diffuses the light with this giant umbrella. It's just cumbersome and really big. And then, of course, I have my window as a natural light source if I need. Depending on the day, if it's too bright outside with the sun, I go ahead and turn that off. I can do this all without ever turning on these lights. Never turn on those overhead lights. It never works out for you, but this setup has been really simple. 45-degree angle to the side of you, maybe have some light in the back to kind of shine on the contours of your head and stuff that are in the shadow, and that works out pretty well for me. When I'm away from my desk, I have a more mobile solution. You saw my stationary setup, but this is my more mobile, lightweight, budget-friendly solution that I have found for shooting things like B-roll, doing interviews, or doing just little talking bits that I'm walking around. Like this whole entire video pretty much was shot using this setup. So let me show you what I have. Any camera, I think I've already mentioned this, but any phone now, any of these smartphones, they have a decent enough camera on them. So this is an iPhone, it's a 10 Max, and it works great for what I'm doing with it. I have this little Rode mic, and this thing has been an absolute joy to work with. It's really, really good. It has really good sound for the size. It's basically a shotgun mic, so it's directional, right? You have to speak straight down at it or straight at it, but it has this little lightning port right there, and it makes it very simple. So this is called the Video Mic Me, I think that's what it's called. So it's a little tiny one, and it plugs right into here. Obviously, if you have a different phone, you'll buy one with a different connector, and then that's all it is. It's right there on the side, and it picks up the audio right there whenever you're recording. Simple as that. Sometimes if you're outside, you're gonna want something like this, which is like your little sound dampener. This is called a dead cat, and you basically just flip it right on there, and that's it. That's all. I mean, it looks pretty crazy, but it's not in the way of your camera at all, or your lenses, so you don't have anything to worry about there. If you want to shoot it or you want to interview somebody, you'd hold it like that, or you can have it towards yourself. It just reduces the wind noise, any of that white noise that comes in. And then all together, you put it on. So this thing is like the little Photo Pro tripod. I love it because it's cheap, it's flexible, so you can put it, you can actually, you can attach it to a tree if you wanted to and get some cool footage. But then it has a little attachment for your phone on the top here. Or you can just use it kind of as like I'm not gonna say selfie stick, but kind of that's what you're using if you're filming yourself. Just a little extending your arm, your reach a little bit. But all you have to do is just put it right in there, and you have it all ready to go. The only thing I wish I had was a gimbal. That way I could kind of have everything be steady and I could kind of move around things. It would be a lot better, but I don't have that, and this setup works just fine for my budget. And again, you can find everything in the link below. So that's how I have my studio set up, and those are the products that I'm using. Yours may be completely different, and that's awesome because your space and your needs are very, very different from mine. I do a lot of analog art as well as digital art, so And I do different formats. I do live webinars or live drawings. I do courses online. I do YouTube videos. So I happen just to have a lot of gear and a lot of things to accommodate all of those. So hopefully this video, the point of this video is just to help you get some ideas on how to set up your own and maybe get some ideas for what products you would like to use, because everybody's needs and spaces are different. But there's one thing that I did leave out, and I did this intentionally, was I didn't tell you really the specs on my computer or even the apps and software that I use for editing or drawing. That's gonna be a whole separate video. And I was just thinking about it. I'm planning on doing other videos that are gonna dive a little bit deeper into more specific areas of what we talked about today. So maybe audio, our lighting, maybe how to get different views, like top-down views for your art. And because art's kind of a hard one, because you wanna make sure the colors are right, you wanna make sure the angle's right. So I have ideas for videos that are coming up, so stay tuned. And if you enjoyed this video and other videos that I've done, please subscribe to the channel. That helps me keep doing what I'm doing here, and it keeps you alerted of what's going on. And of course, please share your experiences. If you have a studio layout that you love, or a solve that you have, or a product that you really want to share with us, please do in the comments below. That'd be really helpful for all of us. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.